Yo, 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 everybody. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the final video in my Intro to Programming video series. And I just want to give you guys some pointers on where to go from here. There's a couple of different things you can do depending on what you feel is appropriate. I would say the first thing you want to do is try and recreate some of the projects that we've made in the series, but try to recreate them without looking at these videos. See if you can do it yourself. Start with some of the console applications that we were making and just work your way back up. And if you're able to do it, I'd say that's a good sign that these concepts have solidified and you're ready to move on to the next step. I know when I started to program, I would watch video tutorials and then try and recreate what we did in those videos without looking at the instructions. And I think it helped quite a bit. If you feel confident that you've learned everything, or at least large majority of the things we've covered in this series, and you want to continue on your path of making video games, there's a couple of different ways you can go. There's a pre-made game engine called Unity, and Unity is probably the most popular tool to make video games with in 2017. There's a ton of tutorials on YouTube on how to make Unity games. You can just say how to make games in Unity or beginner Unity tutorials, and you'll find a ton of stuff. If you go to the Unity website, they have educational things right on their website. There's a ton of resources for that. But you could also, if you'd like, stay with me and continue on to my next video series where we will be making a video game in FNA, which is a code base that uses C#. And eventually we'll be making our own full-blown 2D engine in FNA that you can reuse for any of your 2D games. I personally would recommend you sticking around with me and watching those videos. Unity is pretty cool and all, but I do think you learn a lot by kind of programming at this level, kind of doing your own engine work a little bit, and maybe at the very end, after you've made a few games with me, maybe you decide you want to go back to Unity, or maybe you decide you want to stick with making games in FNA. But I've geared all these videos to kind of lead you to this next step, okay? All of the things that we've covered in this video series are things that will be used and expanded on in this next FNA game series that I'm doing, okay? Whenever I have started that video series, I will link to it here in this video. You should see it in the video description. For now, I'm going to take a little break from programming videos, and I'm hoping to do some design videos. So I hope you'll stick around and watch all of the stuff I put on this channel. I hope you guys have learned a lot. Good job coming this far. Maybe you haven't quite 100% understood everything. That's normal, okay? But I think it's definitely worth commending you that you've stuck with it and made it to the end. A lot of people, as soon as they find one thing that they don't quite understand, they just want to give up. So good job, you've stuck with it, and I hope you keep sticking with it and make some really cool games in the future. Thanks so much for watching my video series, and I hope to see you guys in the future.